Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. Today I'm going to be doing a tag called the Choose Wisely book tag. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, just before we get going, just please excuse the way I look. We've been out of water again for 2 days now. So it means no showering, no shaving, nothing. Feeling pretty dirty right now, a bit down. But hey, I'm going to shoot this video anyway. Now what I was doing earlier on today, I was going back to all the mentions that I've had on my channel, thinking, I'm going to find a tag that maybe I haven't done before. And I'm shocked and horrified to realize, going back 3-4 months to March, April, May, that there were some tags where I've been tagged that I didn't even see the video. And my apologies for E.D. Lewis from E.D. Lewis Reviews and for MJ. But I think we were also going through quite a tough time around about that time as well. But yeah, I'm going to do this tag now, so might as well just get started with it. It is called the Choose Wisely book tag. It was created by MJ over at Reading This Life, and I was tagged by E.D. Lewis Reviews. Okay, the tag is basically made up of 2 prompts. The first prompt being choose 3 books that destroyed you. The second one, choose 3 books that restored you. Now from what I understand about this is these books that destroyed you, not necessarily bad books, they might be very good books, but they were a difficult read, they were possibly harrowing, torturous, difficult to get through, depressing, all of those kind of things. Whereas the books that restored you, I imagine, that filled you with a bit more of an optimism, that maybe rekindled your love for reading, for whatever reason. I'm actually going to pair 3 different sets of books together. So yeah, let's get started. Okay everyone, the first book that I read earlier on this year that absolutely destroyed me, and I found it absolutely devastating, was We Need to Talk About Kevin. Now I mean, just the subject matter of school shooting, about this boy who guns down his classmates and a teacher, that's devastating enough. This book is written by the mother in a series of letters to her estranged husband. And it tells the story of this child and of their marriage, and she's very much an unreliable narrator and at times very unlikable. You're not sure how much you actually trust her, but the story itself is very difficult, very depressing, and just seeing this boy growing up and really completely such a psychopath. And the book also obviously brings in the whole nature-nurture idea very often. But yeah, I found this a very, very difficult book to read. But I did actually end up giving it 4 stars. So as I said, not all these books are bad books. They're just difficult, uncomfortable books. Difficult to read. That is, We Need to Talk About Kevin. Then the book that restored me. Now this I actually read in the same month. And it was just a breath of fresh air. And that's Stephen King's Joyland, 5-star read for me. Now this book is beautiful, it's heartwarming, it's not so much a horror, it's a murder mystery, but even that takes a little bit of a back seat. But it's a wonderful coming of age story, and it filled me with a sense of nostalgia, and then the characters are gorgeous, the funfair setting is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so everything about this particular book really appealed to me, and as I say, I gave it 5 stars. And it was just an awesome counterpoint, a nice balancing act after reading We Need to Talk About Kevin. So that is Joyland by Stephen King. Okay, the second book that destroyed me, but honestly, in the best way possible, is The Terror by Dan Simmons. Now this is basically a hellish read. It's harrowing, it's traumatizing, it's very, very long. But I actually flew through it. But yeah, it's the kind of book that you will think about long after you've finished reading it. It's about the Franklin expedition that goes very, very wrong. Like these ships that get trapped in the ice, and these men and their ordeal and what they have to go through. And in particular at the end, what they have to go through to try and survive everything that is happening to them. Starvation, the ice, the cold. And yeah, I found this a fantastic read, but it did destroy me, and it left me a little bit shattered afterwards, and I needed to pick lighter stuff up after that, which was not too difficult to do. That is The Terror by Dan Simmons. Okay, the second book that restored me. Now I don't have a copy of this book, I read it on Kindle, and that is A Drive-In by Joyland Lansdale. And yes, it is pretty extreme, it's pretty graphic, but if you look at The Terror, there is very little humour there. There's no humour. It's dark, depressing. Whereas Joyland Lansdale, he has a hell of a lot of fun. A lot of blood splattered gore. And it's about, as I've mentioned before, it's about this drive-in, about these 4 Texan friends, and they go to the world's largest drive-in. And the drive-in gets inexplicably closed off from the outside world, and it's basically just showing the worst side of human nature, but in such a way that's just full of dark humour, and sometimes you just laugh out loud even if these ridiculous things are happening to the characters. It's just Lansdale just puts a smile on my face. Sometimes you wonder why you're laughing at some of the stuff he describes, but yeah, so that is Joyland Lansdale, The Drive-In. Okay everyone, and the third book that has absolutely destroyed me, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I've only just finished it. Wow, and that is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Now, I am going to give a full review on this book. So as I say, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It is extremely graphic. It is pretty much the most disturbing book I've read. And the stuff that he puts on paper, the violence and of a sexual nature, is pretty much the worst stuff that I've ever read. That's all I'm going to say about it. There was a large parts that I found also quite boring, but I'll get into that when I talk about it, when I talk about my review. But this is most definitely a very difficult, very uncomfortable, very harrowing book that destroyed me, and actually made me feel like I wanted to take a long hot shower and scrub myself down. I actually felt dirty after some of those scenes. But yeah, I'll talk about this book in more detail when I give it a review. That is American Psycho. Okay, finally, another book that really restored me. Obviously it can't come after American Psycho because I've just finished it, but I'm looking back through the books that I've read this year, and I'm thinking of another Stephen King book that I found absolutely beautiful, wonderfully written, just an incredible story, and that is 11/22/63, a book about time travel, about this man who goes back in time to 50s, 60s America. Just the way it's described is so just wonderful. Kind of nostalgia, a sense of a better time and a better place. And he goes back to try and prevent the assassination of JFK. And yeah, I just love this book. I loved everything about this book. I think that if there's a Stephen King book that needs to be reread by me, it's this one. It's just so many little details, and it's just gorgeous. It's just wonderful storytelling. So whereas American Psycho, you kind of lose your faith in humanity, in this book you get it back. It's also a love story, and yeah, there's just so many good things going on in this book. That's 11/22/63. Okay everyone, so that's my little tag for today, and I would like to tag a few people. I tag Angel Can't Read, Sin's Book Nook, Roy Reads Anything, and Elizabeth Sagewood. And yeah, apologies once again to those people that have tagged me in videos 3-4 months ago. I think at that time we were going through a bit of a traumatic period in our lives, so there's probably quite a lot missing from BookTube in terms of that specific period of time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoy my content, please be sure to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. Take care of yourselves, keep those pages turning, and cheers.